Now hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another Swiss 001 video. Now, right in front of us, we've got the 777, as you can already tell by the title and all that stuff. You know, the 777, one of the most impressive planes that there are, pretty much. Very unique. It's actually one of my favorite planes as well, personally, I think. Yeah, it is actually a really nice one. And, well, you know, it has some very thick engines on board, as you can already tell as well. Yeah, here, see, these are some very thick GE90 engines. Pretty much the most powerful airplane engine that there is, really. And it was also the biggest engine until the newer version of this one, the GE9X, came around, which is a few inches, like 15 centimeters, which is 6 inches, by the way, wider than this one. So the GE9X is even bigger. And the GE9X is, of course, used in the 777X, which we've also talked about. But the 777X is, you know, somewhat a future thing. Today, we have got the 777, and we've had it for a little bit of a while now. It came out in 1995, but it's still perfectly flying around today and is totally in production. If you want to, you can just order a 777 for a small price of $300 million, depending on the configuration. The most expensive one will be $375 million, which is totally doable, isn't it? Yeah, this is actually quite a successful plane. Over 1,600 of these planes were built over the last 25 years, which is pretty impressive as well, especially for such a long-range jet. And, well, that definitely is for a reason. Again, I really like this plane. I like flying on it. You know, it's great. Just the engines. Literally, these engines are so large. They are as wide as the 737 fuselage, which is interesting. Now, yes, it has the most powerful engines on board. It is very modern. So, you know, it obviously has a lot of performance under its hood, I guess. Let's check that out today. Let's kind of bring this plane to its limits by flying it in some interesting conditions and short runways here. We're at Le Mans, south of France. Very interesting airport, but an only 1,200-meter long runway. See, this is actually a really, really large plane. You might underestimate it because it does kind of look just like a 737, with just a little bit bigger. Let me just have a size comparison again. A 737, the engine, literally. This plane is very large, actually. Alright, let's just go ahead and take off this 777 200 long range. Oh yeah, long range. This plane is a very long haul aircraft. You can pretty much fly this around the world if you want to. I mean, you can try. But let's just go ahead and take this plane off of this 1,200-meter long runway, which is, honestly, that's kind of critical if you think about it. I mean, genuinely. Isn't this plane like 100 meters long itself? This could get a little close, but let's just see what we can do here. Literally, the runway is only 10 times longer than the plane itself. But alright, I think we're able to do this. 100 knots already, very powerful. 120 knots, 130, and this huge wide-body aircraft is now taking off into the skies. That worked out. We have used most of this runway on this takeoff, which is kind of scary, honestly. But alright, we are perfectly taking off. It's just so magical, especially with these big planes when they take off. You know, when the wings start to spread, you can really see the wing flex here when these big planes take off. Like, you know, how can such a huge bird just take off? That's just crazy, man. There we go. I mean, obviously, I know how a plane flies, but, like, you know, it's still magical, right? So there we go. We have taken off this 777 from a runway that's only used by small turboprop planes and maybe a little bit of a private jet here and there, which is already looking quite good. Let's maybe try landing this plane as well. See, I've always been kind of scared of landing this plane, honestly. In general, I've been scared of flying this plane here in the simulator. I don't really like using it, especially when I, like, you know, fly to small airports, which is what I kind of always do on this channel. This plane was not really made for super short runway operation. Somewhat of a 737 actually works a lot better. And, yeah, I'm just scared to fail the landings always, because this plane does need quite a bit of a runway to stop. I mean, it's as long as somewhat of a 747, or even longer, right? And the 747 has 4 engines to stop. This one only has 2. Obviously, we're talking about the reverse thrust, which hopefully enough is very powerful in the 777. Again, I've never really done such a runway test with the 777. This is interesting. Okay, we're looking good on this landing, actually. Okay, that was really smooth actually as well. I'm kind of proud of myself now. Now we only need to stop, which is a little bit of a challenge, as I've already said. Come on, stop. Damn. Okay, this runway is already pushing this plane to its limit, isn't it? And by the way, I'm also kind of scared to fly this plane because it's not particularly responsive. The handling is not particularly good, which is obviously due to the very severe size that this plane obviously has. You know, you cannot do any, like, agile maneuvers on the approach. You have to really come straight forward to the runway and hopefully do a smooth landing, which this time around actually worked quite well. Let's check that out again. Yeah, really, that was not bad for such a short runway, and we even managed to perfectly stop. I might have gone a little hard there on the brakes and all that stuff, but we did stop. The thing is, actually, though, you know, this is always the kind of runway that I like to start at. You know, 1,200 meters, which is like 5,000 feet or something. It's a runway size that most planes can actually fly at. You know, the 737 can totally fly at it, I think even legally, especially with the short landing kit that the 737 also has. But no, you can also land a 747 here. I wouldn't say that the brakes of a 747 necessarily like this kind of runway, because they're going to be very hot, probably broken as well, but in an emergency or something, plane could stop here, which I mean it has right now. The thing is, again, I don't know how to move on, like with what kind of runway. You could try a 1,000-meter long runway. Yeah, we can fly to that German island again, which has a 1,000-meter long runway. I was able to actually land a Concorde there, so, you know, we might be able to do it with the 777 as well. Alright, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is probably gonna go very wrong, but we can try. Here, landing this 777 on a 1,000-meter long runway, which is not particularly realistic, but I'll try my best to somewhat get this plane down. Alright, landing, I guess, something. Let's get this plane somewhat stopped here on this very short runway. Which, I guess, that has actually worked. That was good. That was good now. That was good. See, it's all really about the landing. You can even make it on a short runway here with this 777. It's pretty crazy, because this plane is, like, genuinely not large now. Literally, both engines are now hanging over grass with a short runway like this. That was actually quite a perfect landing. We did take a little bit of that grass here, which is probably not perfect, but whatever. We somewhat were able to stop. So you can see here I was trying to pull up the nose to, you know, generate a little bit more drag here on this landing, which somewhat worked, I guess. And we've stopped on this barely 1,000-meter long runway. We still have a little bit of it left. I mean, we can even take this to the limit. I think this is now a 700-meter long runway that we've practically used for the landing. I mean, we could push this a little bit further with another German island. That one is 850 meters long. I guess that is the perfect runway for the 777. Well, it's not perfect, but it's like the shortest thing I could ever do. Actually, I'm running this on empty weight, just trying to get this somewhat landed. Yeah. Alright, let's start with a takeoff here, and this runway is a lot shorter. That is not going to work out. I mean, literally, the plane is like 1/8 of the runway. Okay, let's see if we can somewhat, like, do it. Alright, let's go and take off something. Trying to get as much power in as possible before we actually set off. There we go. We have 100% of these very powerful engines now, and let's go ahead and pull the flaps while we are still actually on the takeoff roll. Let's slowly get the flaps to full position. That will not particularly help us gain speed, but particularly help us gain lift, which is kind of like the point, of course. Okay, there we go. We are gaining lift. We are taking off. I think we have taken off. We have actually taken off. All right, we are airborne. I think that might have genuinely worked now. Let's check it out from the outside view. Did we take any grass with our takeoff here? Let's check it out. There we go. I was really early trying to somewhat rotate, and well, okay, we did take a little bit of grass, and we crashed into this bit. Wait, what is that even? What is that barrier? That's so weird. Oh wait, I think this is actually like the thing that's used to protect islands against flooding and stuff. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, this takeoff and this 777 worked. Let's see if we can get this plane landed, which this will be a close call again. I can already say that. I think at this point it's a better idea to just land on that beach that's down there. But let's just see what we can do. You know, the engines are not particularly responsive, not very agile. They're not very quickly at 100%, which can be interesting for especially go-arounds and all that stuff. Again, you're not at 100% immediately, which runway is ahead. Let's get this plane somewhat landed in some way. Alright, a hard landing. Well, this was necessary. Let's try getting this plane stopped or something. Which hasn't worked. Let's abort this landing here. There we go. That was a perfect go-around. I can do this. Let's try this again. Whoa. Kind of landed here in the grass again, but let's just somewhat get this plane stopped anyway. Come on, we can do it. We can hear clapping in the background. Probably the passengers are very scared for their lives, which I have saved. There we go. All right, let's check out this landing. Again, a little bit of a grass landing there. Let's check it out. Ooh, we've even taken the bush here. That was really not good. Yeah, maybe this runway is really the shortest this plane can do. I think we've found the perfect one here. That's very nice. Yeah, that is the 777 for you. Very nice plane, very successful plane, even more successful than the 747 or something. It's really the prince of the skies. Is that a fair name? Yeah, really nice one there, Boeing. And so, yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video. And I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.